what is the climate disaster. Especially, I'm interested to talk on resiliency. Which are the factors and indicators should be considered to measure the resiliency? Because when we understand their indicators and how to measure the resiliency, then we can clearly understand which are the lessons we should learn and how we can go forward. So to manage our disasters due to this having the unexpected climate change. So let us start. Is it okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So here I will start with some background of the sustainability because many students and many people have the confusions about the difference between the sustainability and resilience or resilience infrastructures. So just I will give the some brief overview about its difference, and then I will explain what is the resilience, because again there is a what you can say domain wise, and there is a different understanding about the resiliency. And suppose you go for the any medical side, so their resilience is different terms. When you talks about the infrastructure resiliency, they have the different terms. But here, through the literature review and what is exactly how to quantify the resiliency, that is our main requirements today. So that I am going to talk. So I think it will give you the more concepts on the resiliency. And then I will compare the sustainability and resiliency. So there will be the clear-cut understanding and difference. What is the difference between the sustainability and resiliency? So here I can decide the course means this lecture's outcomes, that you will understand what is the sustainability, what is the resiliency, and how to measure the resiliency, which indicators or factors should be the considered while you are talking about the resiliency. And based on that, we will keep the discussion. Okay, which are the lessons we should go, we should learn, and we can implement in our next in the course of the actions and the implementations plan. So here you might know the sustainability developments. We have been talking about a lot, and it's meaning the needs of the presents. So we need some natural resources, especially the fuel, energy, etc. But here we have to take the care for the next generations. Suppose there is some limited all these resources, especially the crude oils and some minerals, for example, limes, waters. So that should be have the limited, and due to this adverse climate change, they're highly affected, because sometimes we, in some places, we do not have the some quantity, sufficient quantity of waters also. And so here we have to take the capability of the future generations without compromising. Okay, that we have to take care for the next generations, and that way we have to use. So that is the main theme of the sustainable development. Then we will further discuss what is the difference between the sustainability and resilience later on. Here you can see these words is come to the in the practices after this what you can say Earth Summit. It was held in the Rio de Janeiro, and it again discussed in the climate Kyoto carbon emissions in that conventions in 1997, and in 2002 in Johannesburg summit in South Africa. It's about the poverty reductions. So after in this century, when it starts, so generally the sustainability it's come to in the practices, and many practitioners and policymakers, they have started to emphasize on the sustainability. So here there is a different level of the sustainability, and their aspects will be the cover. Here you can see this Buccini et al. They have defined the sustainability in the four levels. That you can see in the first level, they have the given the general definitions about the intra generations fairness. What we have talked, we have to take the care, the uses of the and the requirements of the next generations. These are three pillars: that economic, ecologies, and the society. So we have to take the all the parts of the society and their economics. So, you know, the main principle of the any economics that everyone should have the same opportunity to utilize their resources. So here in the some segment of the society, suppose they are rich, and it doesn't mean they have the only right to use the particular type of the resources. So here that should be the well balance in these three pillars, and it is the main theme of the sustainability. So at the project management level also, you may start to think about, okay, which are the resources nowadays in this, like how we can make the more sustainable buildings, or how our city should be there. So that level we are now thinking, especially in our constructions and built environments. And here also we have to take to conserve the waters and protect the species, environments, noise emissions and renewable energies and others. So that all these small things also we have to take the considerations when we talks about the sustainability. So this is the brief evolutions of the timelines, how these different developments was occurs in the different events, at the different events or the conventions or the conference that you can. So we are not much interested, but you later on you may refer them. Here you can see about what you can say India. So they have presented, they developed and presented the some green rating system. So that purpose is that you can evaluate all the what you can say green rating activities, whether and what is that their quantifications, what is the level of their greenness in the particular activity. So government has put in the practices by the sustainable constructions, and they have promoted this Griha. And later on, lead and three, here you can say the lead was formulated in 1998 by the USA. And Griha is in the practice, IGBC and Griha, these two frameworks to measure the sustainability of the buildings are in the practices in the India. And here eco housing, but here mostly the IGBC and Griha and leads. Three methods, the ratings methods are very popular in India. So they are taking the care of sustainable constructions and its measures. Now here it is very important things about the resiliency. So nowadays you can see it's maybe the climate change or the infrastructures, and most of the policy, even our sustainable goals, what is decided by the United Nations. So they are talking about the resiliency of the systems and the resilience infrastructures. So that term is floated in the almost all the domains. And suppose we can talk about the resilience economics, then resilience infrastructure. Already I have talked with you, and recently you can say due to high impacts of this negative consistency of the COVID-19. So what is the resiliency of the economics? So many economics of the various countries, they were highly affected across the world. And at that time, some economics also use these words about the economic resiliency. So here, let us we understand the resiliency in the context of the infrastructures, because due to the climate change, unexpected rainfall occurs in some places, unexpected flood may come up in the rivers, and it may affect the various infrastructure networks, like it may be the road networks, then our storm networks, water or sewage collection systems, bridges, and so similar kind of the many infrastructures are affected, especially in the urban area. So here, let us see the resilience is the ability of human communities to withstand the external shock or perturbations to their infrastructures and to recover from the such perturbations. Perturbations means any difficulty, yeah, when you lose your normal performance. So that is called the perturbations. You know that COVID-19, I think more than 4 weeks and 5 weeks, there was highly restrictions for any economic activity, and that was the perturbations. And later on, you can see that gradually the markets are opened and the economics and other activities have been started. So that means that humans and the societies come out from that perturbations. So here, let us be talks about the various aspects of the resiliency. So first aspects are these TUSE, they are called. So technical aspects, organization, social and economics. So in the technical aspects include like the constructions and technology, which are the technologies are involved in the particular constructions of the infrastructures. So that is called the technical aspect. So when we talk about the resiliency, okay, after the any shock or any disaster, which are the technicality in their particular infrastructures. So that how you measures, that is called the what you will say technical indicators. So we have to see, okay, what technology and technical matter is involved in the particular type of the infrastructures. Then organizations, it's deal with the management plant, maintenance, and the response to emergency. So how you are taking the care of your infrastructures. Suppose it may be the pipeline projects, water distributions pipes, so continuous repair and maintenance is required. And suppose any emergency occurs, so how's your civic society or societies behave in the emergency? That part should be the considered in the resiliency. Yeah, it affect the resiliency. And in this line, the socials also society and mitigation. So something is happen, any disaster, there's an important role of the society. Let me tell you that I think Tejas Patel has talks about the resiliency of the Surat city. So there was a high flood occurred in the 2006, and you know that it was the two-third city area that was submerged due to the waters. And Surat is the one of the city who contributes lots in the GDP of the country. So government has focused to come out their consistency, what occurs due to that disasters. And in that disaster, there was a lot of contributions from the society and industry nearby the Surat. And that is also the good contributions in the resiliency. Then economic address the direct or indirect cost associated with the reductions of the functionality of the infrastructure and its rehabilitations, because when any infrastructure is affected, so lot of cost is associated with the infrastructure. So what is that quantum? So that should be the considering the resiliency. So here these are the four dimensions of the resiliency. These are called TOSA, technical, organization, social and economics. Let us we move to the what is the results of the resiliency. If suppose anything is occurred, then what is the consequence? So here what is the level of the consequences? Suppose any disaster is occurred, what is its intensity? Now how it's affect the social economic activities. Okay, sometimes you know that in the COVID-19, so generally the inflation is the increases. Okay, and many society, many children have lost their parents also. So there may be some unbalance, some so these are the highly affected. So what is the consequences? So our resiliency should attempt, okay, when we talk about the resiliency, so that should be the minimizations in the consequence. Then faster recovery. So anything is occur, okay, then we have to come out from their problems or the difficulty, and we have to achieve our normal functioning as early as possible. So that aspect should be considered in the resiliency. Let us say in the generally, you know that when the first monsoon is come, first rain is come in the monsoon seasons. So most of the urban areas highly affected, and it's become the news in the top lines of any newspaper. For example, in the Mumbai, okay, in the first monsoon you can see. So every time and first rainfall when occurs, then every time there is any news. Okay, these are the traffic, huge traffic. There was a high level of the waters and flood, etc. So here it should be the first. So you can say it's maybe the influence for day, half day, or second day also some trends. So we have to come out from the as early as possible. That should be the fast recovery. So can we reduce instead of the 1 day, we can reduce up to the 12 hours. Can we reduce up to the 3 hours? So how we are coming back in the how we can recover. So that is called the fast recovery. More reliability means the quality. We have to construct the everything with the sorry, excuse me. Okay, are you with me?
Yeah.
I hope I am not fast, okay? Because I have to. Is it okay? The speed is speed of delivery.
Fine. You have
So
about 8 minutes to close.
yeah, I'm going. I will be able to complete it.
Okay.
So this is the aspect of the resiliency. For redundancies, repetitive and repetitive that we will talk and Robert. So here resourcefulness, it means we have the sufficient resources. It may be the for the whatever we need. Okay, suppose we need to expand the road, we have to construct the any requirements supporting infrastructure, etc. That should be there. Suppose in the any disaster is occurs, then we have the sufficient equipments, machinery, tools. So these are all the things are the resourcefulness. So that planning is very important. Redundancy means the what you can say extras. What you can something is extra. Okay, so that you have the degree of the freedoms. Okay, so that may be the another way. Suppose you have the one road, but there may be the another parallel road, yes, some another route. So suppose anything is occurred, so you may use that as another road, yeah, another infrastructure. So you should not depend only the one, what you can say, source of anything. Suppose water, so that should be the network such way that so one pipeline is obstructed, yeah, cut down, yeah, it is the hampered. So you have to ensure that the flow of the waters should be the continuous from the other source also. So that is called the redundancy. Repetitive already the speed with a what we can say, you have to come up the intensity, yeah, speed of how you are coming back to your functionality level. That is called the rapidity. Robustness means you have the what you have constructed the infrastructures. They should be very sound, and even though small any intensity of any disaster, it should not affect the what you can say performance of the any infrastructures. It's like a immunity system of the any human. Okay, suppose you have the strong immunity system, so you can say some viral, yeah, some bacteria cannot affect, and that is in the same line. The robustness of the infrastructure is also very important. So here, when you talks about this resiliency, so these 11 aspects should be the cover. That should be the considered. Four are dimensions of the resiliency. Three are the resilience. Uh, results of the resiliency, and which are the property of the resiliency. So when you prepare any strategy or resiliency plan, especially for the infrastructure I'm talking, so these 11 aspects should be the considered. Here it is very interesting, what you can say, diagram is here, that you can see this is, let us say, 100%. You just focus on that where my cursor is moving. Okay, so this is x-axis is the time, and this is my functionality. Functionality means it is the how the infrastructure is functioning. Let us we take the example of any bridges. Okay, so there is a, let us say, one causeway bridge is there, and it connects the two sides which are of the two banks. What is the city? And generally you can say river is passing across the city. So that way we can consider it is the bridge. And so what is the function? So many persons are traveling. What is the traffic flow across that river by using this particular bridge? And suppose something is happened, let us say one flood is coming and it's very high flood. And so, of course, due to having the flood and considering its conditions, their functionality is lower down. So here you can see, just you follow the my cursors. After something is disaster is occurred here, so its functionality is reduced. And let us say it's reached up to the 25%. So 100% is normal, and due to having the disaster, any disaster, it's come down, it's fall down up to the 25%. That means its performance is the decrease significantly. Now what can we do? Suppose that infrastructure have the strong robustness or soundness, yeah, let us say have the good specifications, yeah, configurations. So sometimes it may not be affected. Yeah, it may be affected up to the 75, up to the 75%. But here, let us say whatever that they have the less robustness, and it may its performance level is what you can say reduce up to the 25%. So that's why you can see these portions. This line is 1 minus robustness, and this is the robustness. So still, this infrastructure has the 25% the functionality. Now, what will be happen when time is passes? So the intensity of the disaster maybe they reduce. You are taking the some precautions. Let us say you may check the waters through the dam. Okay, yeah, you may divert it the water somewhere else. Yeah, whatsoever. Okay, yeah, you may take the some others precautions. You may open the another bridge. Yeah, you may divert the traffic, and gradually you can see the flood conditions is lower down, and again its functionality is increased, and it may reach here again up to the 100%. So that is called the resiliency of the bridge. But here, risk factors is time. How much time is take that you can focus on this x-axis. So it may be reach up to here also in this time also, in this time also. So their time should be the less, and that you can achieve through the rapidity. So this is the approximately recovery path. Generally, I have assumed here it is a linear, but it's the non-linear. But is the and when you say it is a 1 minus robustness and rapidity, so that will be the reduce. So here, this what you can see the color, it is called the resilience triangle. Actually, what's your resilience strategy? You have to decide what should be there, and you should try to minimize this color. Okay, minimizing this color, yeah, this area, resilience triangle, that means you are adding more resilience to the infrastructures. Means you are increasing the robustness, you are taking the care of the debris. So what we have discussed, the 11 aspects, this would be the cover here. So here, let me take, I think 2-3 minutes are left. So what is the difference between sustainability and resiliency? So here, sustainability, sustainable development is talks about the needs of the present without the compromising the ability of future generations. When here, resilience is the ability of human communities to withstand the external shocks to their infrastructure and to recover from that shocks. That shocks maybe you may consider as a disaster source. So how we come back in the normal position. So that you can see here. So the sustainability talks about the what you can say next generations and limitations of the use of limitations of the resources and minimizations use of the resources. So there is no any significant matching in the sustainability and resiliency about these definitions. Here in the literature, you may find the some keyword. Some keywords are matching. Okay, so that's why it is called the good matching, and that's why the readers are sometimes confused. This is the target, like the for the sustainability reductions of the impacts, less resource consumptions, etc. And here robustness, what we have discussed, the high different aspects of the resiliency, that should be the covers. Then here dimensions, you may consider the economic, ecological, social aspect, efficiency, and consistency in the sustainability. And resiliency, already we have talked about the resiliency, resourcefulness, and US, that factors, they are coming under the resiliencies. Then measuring levels, here different rating systems are there, and they are measured sustainability in the platinum, gold, silver certified, and others parameters also. That's 1 leaf, 2 leaves, 3 leaves, etc. And here this resiliency, there may be the quantify and qualitative. There is also challenge how to quantify the resiliency, but many researchers have attempted to quantify this resiliency in line of this sustainability green rating system, green rating systems.
Deepak
Then
ji,
here,
it might go suddenly off soon.
okay, so just I am reaching that
Yeah. No.
So here this is the decision supports, and so when we construct the new sustainable constructs, at that time we have to take the sustainability, and suppose you have to simulate it. Suppose any disaster is occurred, then resilience come to the into the pictures.